Take a high road, take a high road, take a high road. Koe Wetzel's coming!
Hey! Birthday bash
excited.
announced today.
Very
Not only
excited.
Koe Wetzel, it's Kip
Kent?
Moore. We've got Corey Kent, who is phenomenal. Baker Blankenship, which is a new star in country music. Have you seen this kid's following on social?
Yes, and he's been in the studios
Whoa.
before. Like this, it's gonna. Oh, don't
Yes.
miss Baker.
Yes,
Ugh,
yes.
gonna be
If that
fantastic.
name isn't like clicking with you yet, know that this is already one of those artists that has got a ton of buzz around them. Very much like when we didn't know Nate Smith and he was coming to the first Hoobajube,
right.
and then afterwards everybody was talking about how amazing this new guy Nate Smith was. Very much like that. So
Bailey Zimmerman, same thing with Hoobajube.
yeah,
remember?
all good things. All good
okay,
things.
so tickets officially go on sale Friday for everybody. Thursday, there is a pre-sale code BASH, B-A-S-H, BASH. That's Thursday. And every hour today, you can win your tickets before you can buy them, tomorrow and Wednesday and all of the days.
Okay. So there you go. Birthday bash was announced today. Hey, KYGO announced a nomination for ACM Station of the Year today. Big day too. Just happened.
Missed that.
Just happened.
We're up
about
for
an
an
hour
award?
ago. Yep, we're up for an award, which is all you guys. So
Academy of Country Music. That's a big deal. That's the big one.
For the 17 people.
Hey!
I stopped myself on award shows. Okay. Let's talk about parental negotiations today, because this was a big story this morning that we didn't get into. I wish we had more time on it, and that's what this show is for here. But the stat was 67 hours a year we spend negotiating with our kids. That's more than an hour a week.
Do you think you do more or less than 67 hours? Now, is that per kid? Or is that just as a parent, that's how much time you spend?
Okay. Yeah, I did say as a parent.
Because if that was per kid, oh my God, you'd get nothing else done.
Exhausted. I will say, and I'm not trying to sound like I've got it all figured out in any way, I would say less for me.
Okay.
I do not negotiate.
With terrorists?
I do sometimes, but I do not negotiate very long. And I think they know that, and I'm definitely not, they would see me as more of a pushover on a lot of things. Like if it comes to like, I want these clothes, Mom, or we're on a little vacation and they want something, I'd be like, of course you can. You know, like I'm very much a pushover.
They know
with
what
that.
they can get away with you.
Yes.
And Ian separately. They know.
Yes.
By now they know.
Yes.
Who
Ian
to go
will
to.
negotiate. It's funny because Ian will negotiate and he's not intending to. Ian will negotiate based on, and I always think it's because like it was just he and his mom, no siblings, no aunts and uncles, even because she was an only child. So it was just those two. So it was just like the only person that they were talking with. So he tends to overly do that with our kids sometimes, like over explain and keep going back to it. I was like, dude, you said no like 5 minutes ago. The answer is like, move on, guys, out the room. Let's go, you know? And so I don't think he even knows he's doing it.
Right. Okay.
But just keeps engaging the conversation.
Interesting.
I was very impressed with showing some vulnerability on admitting that you have done this more since the divorce.
Yeah, I do. I think since becoming a single dad, and I split the kids 50-50 with my ex-wife. That's our agreement. That's our parenting plan. And so when the kids are with me, you know, I have chores. I make them do all of the normal stuff. But since becoming a single dad, I do find myself negotiating more with them. And I don't know why. It could be because I no longer have my good cop, bad cop relationship, mom, dad. Yeah. You know, it's just me. So I always have in the back of my brain, like, you know, what are they doing at mom's house? Is it the same thing here? If it's not, is it worse with me? Is it better with her? I try to keep it as you know, consistent as possible, but I do find in some instances where before I would never negotiate, now it's more of a conversation because I've got to navigate being a single dad different than a
Is it fair to say?
It's hard to put into words.
It is hard.
And I'm not proud of it, but there are some things that I never would have negotiated before. Now, like, for example, you know, and it's more the boy. Like Delilah doesn't, she won't try to weasel her way through a situation. You know, it's very much dishes need to be done, get them done, and she'll do it.
Yeah, I could see that.
Jed, the boy, in this instance, I'll be like, all right, Jed, you need to unload the dishwasher, have it done by 4 because I'm going to start cooking and I need the kitchen space. And he'll start to be like, well, I know, but if I do this and this, Dad, can it be like 4:15 or 4:30? And I'm like,
so it's even little things like that. Like
that's just exhausting. The first one that comes to mind, where I'll be like, okay, well, I can make this work. I can make this work. So there's more instances now than when I was married.
So is it fair to say, because I want to go back to something that you said, and you're like, I don't know why I do it, but I want to make things pretty equal. Mm-hmm. Is it fair to say deep down, you want to be better? Like you want to be like the one who you don't want to do way more chores than at mom's house because you want to, I mean, and that's a real thing that you hear so many parents talk about. And I don't think a lot of people admit it. So that's why I was like so impressed. Do you want to be?
Yes. I think I think anybody that tells you otherwise is lying.
I do too.
Because when you're a kid, when you say, all right, well, go clean your room or go make your bed, go clean your bed right now. And then, you know, one of the kids will be like, well, Mom doesn't make me make my bed.
Oh my,
it's like,
seething. I'd be seething.
So it's annoying that the rules are different, but is this a hill I want to die on, in that now he's or she is going to like be mad at me because Mom doesn't do it, but you're doing it. I'd rather live with Mom.
Yes.
You know, you take it to that, but they don't do that. But there's a part of you that's like, well, I don't want to be mean dictator parent if the other one's being super nice. You know, it's such a weird dynamic.
Oh my God, I know.
And it's hard to put into words, but I struggle with that much more than when I was married.
Do you think that you're more than 67 hours a year? That's more than an hour every single week on negotiating with your kids.
No, I don't think I'm more than that, but I'm definitely more than where I was a year ago or 2 years ago, for sure. 67 seems like a big number.
It does seem like a really big number. They always, when it comes to chores at our house, and then like, I'm more of the, when Mom says, when the answer is no, they'll try to go back in and it'll be like, did you hear what I said? You know, like I'll kind of logic them a little bit into like being frustrated and walking away, whatever. But they still try to negotiate things like, if we're cleaning the house, it was never a assigned chore situation. Like they all, like one person did this, one person did this. They'll try to pretend it like, well, Brandon always mows the lawn. Like, no, he mowed it last time. And like, you're practically an adult, knock it off, you know, but they'll still do that game. And I think it just inherently happens. It's going to happen forever with your kids because you're always going to be a parent to them.
Yes.
I would find myself like, when we go to my parents' house, I still get in a mindset sometimes of like, oh, we always have to. And my little brother doesn't ever have to. You know, it still happens.
Yeah.
It does. Do I negotiate? No, I just complain behind it, you know. I just be like, come here and tell you.
And the other thing is, you know, chores up until, I live with the kids in an apartment, and when we were all together a couple years ago, chores were just a thing. You just did chores. You didn't earn money for chores. You live here, you have to clean. You're part of the tribe. You said it earlier.
Yeah, you're part of the community of
and that's how I always wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we've come up with a system and a plan that now unloading the dishwasher, you get some money for. There's a way for them, because it's just so weird being a single dad. I've got to, now give them opportunities to make money where I wouldn't have done it this way. But it's my only. You don't
have to give them opportunities to make money. You give them food and shelter. And I don't mean to sound harsh, because I love where your head is.
No, they have to buy their own meals.
Yeah. They get a ticket. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to beat yourself up over that.
I don't beat myself up, but but here's the other thing. right or wrong, the kids, they will come to me and be like, well, mom gave us money for doing the dishes. Are you? So that's what I also get. And
That
so then
sucks.
it's now I'm
Yes,
competing
yes.
with the same chore at mom's house gets them $5. At my house, it's free. I get the complainy, well, mom
Dad's
pays
too
us,
high.
you
Yeah,
don't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that it's such a weird.
I don't
It's
envy
such a
that
weird-
situation
No, it's
because
not-
we do
it's not
have,
nice.
you know, and it's also one of those things too, like at our house, like if I were to stop the conversation, like we're not doing it or we're doing it this way, you know, just be like, yeah, what she said, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
you have a
there
teammate
wouldn't
to back
be a
you up.
challenge. This
Mhm.
week we are is so dumb, but the negotiations started big time because we were sitting down, like half of my family is sick right now, and we're just hanging out. And on Saturday afternoon, it was, what movie do you want to watch? And Ian and two of the boys are really sick. Joey and I are not. And so Ian's like, I want to watch this. And the other two are like, well, I want to watch this one. And then I want to watch this one. He's like, no, I want to watch this one. And he kept negotiating. I was like, who pays the bills? Finally, I'm like, dude, Dad picked a movie. Y'all shut up. Like,
Right.
It was very like, God, I'm in the other room and I couldn't handle it. But like, no, you don't. This isn't an open conversation anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yep.
you don't want to be harsh, but I have the ability to do that in a house with, you know, like I said, Ian's not gonna be like, Tracy, don't. If they want to watch Friday for the 15th time, that's AJ's go-to now.
Friday, the
Friday.
movie Friday.
If you're
Where's
gonna-
Tracy
Where's
gives me
Greg at?
an allowance every week, Fizz. Tracy gives me an allowance.
Oh,
I do. Yeah.
really?
I give Big Mike an allowance.
What does he do for you?
Yes. Yes.
Of course.
Well, I'm like, listen, I need you to like whatever he's just knock whatever he says down. He laughs harder at my jokes than
Oh,
yours.
he pays you to do that?
which I pay him. I
Yeah.
was like, listen, see, look at that. Like, it's so great.
All right, you dorks. Have a great day. See ya.
Bye.